Okay, so I got called out here today on this 2003 Buick Century 3.1, and the check engine light's on, but this is a special call to me because this one came from Mom. She gave me a call and she said, hey, check engine light came on in my car. Could you take a look at it? I said, well, you know, I might not be able to, but I might know somebody that could. So, I'm sure you guys know who that is.
Oh, that's ironic.
Yeah, well, it happens. So anyhow, Rock and I are here to take a look at Grandma's car and see what's going on with it. We got a check engine light on, that much we know. The nice thing is we have a lift to work with, so that should make our life a little bit easier today. So Rock, if you wouldn't mind just getting in there, let's see what we got on the scan tool. Select the vehicle. You can try to do an automatic ID if you want. I think it might work on this car. See if I can zoom that in a little bit better. Whoop, there we go.
Buick Century.
2003 Buick Century 3.1. That's it. All right, click on that. Like I need to tell you how to use your own scan tool. All right, let's read the diagnostic trouble codes. And since we're told that it was an engine light on, I think we're going to probably check engine. Or PCM in this case. So PCM is powertrain control module. All right, let's see what kind of code we get. Hopefully Grandma didn't get us too bad. Maybe she gave us something easy to work with. What do you think?
Let's hope so.
All right. Is that key all the way on? Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't have the key all the way on. That was my fault. I get excited whenever I get a chance to work with them. And we'll give it a second, and it's reading. Stuff is popping up. All right, so what kind of code do we have down there? See if I can get this in there too while you're doing it. Go ahead. So we see p04, what?
p0446B.
p0446B, and what do they call that?
Actually, not sure.
Evaporative emission vent system performance. All right, so evaporative emissions, really simple. Here's what they do. We have gasoline that comes up there to the engine and it goes up to the injectors, right? And the fuel gets extremely hot. When it gets really hot, some of it's going to go back down into the tank, and the tank is a sealed system. So it's kind of like, picture like a 2-liter bottle of soda. If you put it outside, right? If you squeeze the bottle all the way and you put it outside in the sun, you know what would start to happen? The fluid inside would heat up and we would get vapor pressure and it would go pop, and it would pop open, right? Same kind of thing. Now, in a 2-liter of soda, you know, it's not going to get hot enough to actually make anything burst because it's a pretty sealed system. But on a gas tank is really thin metal, and it has parts of it that are just kind of twisted in or tightened in, you know, very loosely. So if you look up this way, if you have a system and it's sealed, and the system is too sealed, and you get too much pressure built up in there, eventually the gas tank might go pop. And if it goes pop, clearly that's really bad day. So we don't want that. So what they do is they have evaporative emission system. All it is we have the engine producing vacuum, and that vacuum is going to sit there and it's going to draw vapors from the fuel tank. So there's an opening that goes up this way, up towards the engine, and that's called our purge solenoid. So they mean purge means to purge all that fuel vapor, right? But in order for it to go this way, we also have to have one more thing, which is a vent solenoid. And the vent solenoid is in the back. He's the guy that opens and closes, like this. Kind of like a gateway. Right, just like a gateway. So if I close it and I pull vacuum on that side, well, the whole system just gets and gets pulled down into a vacuum. If it's open back there, air from outside just flows through over the top of the gas tank and then all the way up to the engine, right? And that's what we want. That's called purging. Sometimes, though, when they want to do a test, they want to sit there and they want to bring the system into a vacuum. So what they do is they open up the purge a little bit and let some vacuum get back there, but then they close the vent in the back. And what that does is it builds up a little bit of vacuum in the tank. Then they shut off the purge. Now that little bit of vacuum gets stuck inside the tank and it holds there until it's ready to be tested. Okay, so we watch it and we make sure. Now, if all the vacuum starts to leak away, well, then we have an evaporative emission system leak. Our vent, in this case here, they're saying that vent is possibly not closing. So Remember, the vent solenoid is going to be normally open, and then we're going to close it, or the computer is going to close it whenever it wants to. This time around, we're going to do it ourselves. So if you go back a screen, and one more, and we go into special tests. Let me zoom that back in so everybody can see it. We're going to go back into the PCM again. And the very first thing that we want to do is we want to see whether or not we have something in there for engine output controls. Yep, yeah, you got it. And let's look for a vent solenoid. Does it have one? Scroll up on the other side there. That's it? That's as much as you have scrolled on the right hand side? Or does it go up further? No, that's it, huh? Alright, so what else do we have there?
The evap system.
Alright, click on evap system. And evap vent solenoid. There we go. So we should get a choice to turn it on or off. When we do that, remember that solenoid in the back is like a gate, right? Well, if I close the gate, would you hear it?
Yes.
Right? You normally hear like a click. Okay, well, same thing here. So if we turn that vent solenoid on and off over here, we should hear a click. And let me show you where this vent solenoid is on this one. Come on out for a second. And hold on to the scan tool though. Bring it with you because we're going to kind of dangle it down. Yep, bring it right out this way. And let's see if I can just thread it right through here. Alright, hold on to it here. And we're going to pull that up. Close that door a little bit. There we go. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to go up with the lift. And we're going to see where that vent solenoid lives. I can tell you from doing lots of these, it's going to be right up over here, right by that gas tank. Or right by where the gas filler lid is. So inside there. So let me put the lift up. Now I gotta figure out how high to go for him. I'm 6'3" and he's like 4 foot nothing. Okay, locks are on. Alright, so let's rest that right over here carefully. Alright, yeah, that should go nowhere. And come on right back here. And let's see here. Do I have my light? No, but let's see. If we peek our heads up in here, right up there, you see these wires?
Yep.
They're connected up there to the vent solenoid. And so that vent solenoid back there, that's our little gate. So it has 2 wires to it. So what do we have to turn on the light bulb? What do we need?
You need electricity, battery power, and
Battery power and
a ground.
a ground. That's it, right? So guess what? Same exact thing with the solenoid. We're going to have battery power on one wire, and then the other wire is going to be the computer grounding that wire. So, just like anything else, we said you could do that just like lighting a light bulb, right? Well, guess what? I always carry one in my pocket. This is a light bulb. It's actually made for testing injectors, but you know what? I use it for everything. I use this thing on tons of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach up there, I'm going to unplug this, and we're going to plug this into the connector. Let's do that now. Let's take a quick look at our wires here. Do you see anything wrong with the wires? I mean, they're a little bit dirty, but nothing broken, right?
Nope. But I can tell.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
I'm
Okay, so what I want you to do is, very carefully, take this and slide it into that connector so that way it gets right inside those 2 terminals.
Right.
All right? You can use 2 hands. Looks like I could have went up a little higher, huh? All right, and that's in those 2 terminals, right? Perfect. Just like that. Right? And it went in nice and easy, so that should be the right size. It's the one I normally keep with me. And what we're going to do is press the on button. Okay, and you see up here it says commanded state on. All right, so back here right now, that little light bulb should be on.
Which it is.
Voila. So what did that just tell us? That we have power and we have ground, right? So do I have to check into my wiring at all?
Doesn't seem like it.
Nope, not at all. So we'll turn it back off just to make sure that it goes off. That we don't have anything silly happening here, but nope, it goes right off. So all we have to do now is actually just check the solenoid and see if the solenoid's any good. All right, so I'll tell you what, why don't you hold on to this? Hold on to this. and I'm gonna hop in there real quick and see what I need in order to disconnect this. Let's see.
I'll try and open it.
Okay. Oh, watch your eyes now, okay? Because there's gonna be a lot of dirt.
I got glasses.
Well, yeah, but there we go. There's our solenoid right here. The first thing I do, I hear a little shake. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do a quick test on it. And this is where it was plugged in before. Can you see that okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's right there where the two terminals were that it was tested before. And as you see, I brought out the old Vantage already. So we're going to check to see if the wiring inside is actually any good. So on here, let me fix that lighting a second there. Let's see, where is it? Oh, we shouldn't have to. Multimeter. We'll come down here and we're going to change this to ohms. Now ohms checks resistance. Okay?
Right.
So in between these wires, if I held them together, it would show 0.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that means that my wires are good, going all the way across. The same way, I'm going to go in here right now. I'm going to go across these two terminals, and we're going to see what kind of a reading we get up there. Well, let's see. I'm definitely on the wire. 0.022. Is that right? That's right. That's what it shows. Now that's a little bit scary, but let's make sure I got that terminal and not touching the other one.
0.25.
Oh, wait a minute. There we go. I was actually touching the other wire, wasn't I? Yes, I was. Sorry. I was touching my terminals together right there like that. But this is the real reading. Right. Whoops. Did it again. I should have grabbed smaller terminals, Rock. So, there we go. Right there. Okay. So, OL means out of limit. All right? So just to verify that, I'm going to take this and I'm going to bring my limits all the way up just to see how bad they really are. I'm going to go all the way up to 10 mega ohms, which is like ridiculous. That's like my body is probably look, my whole body. If I hold the terminals in my hand, I'm like 1.2 mega ohms. I should be a lot of resistance. So I'm going to come in here again and I'm going to do this, and it's not even on the scale. So, out of limits. That means it has over 10 million ohms of resistance. What that means is, this solenoid inside here, a solenoid works, it has lots and lots and lots and lots of wire. Have you ever seen an electromagnet?
Yes.
Okay, so I think we actually have one in your kit at home. So, essentially what you have is there's going to be a bunch of windings all going around an iron core, right? And inside that core, when we sit there and we energize, we're going to turn that iron into like a big magnet. Well, they put the magnet up here a little bit higher, and what that's going to do is it's going to pick up like this on our little pintle inside, which is like a little gate, like our little seal. That's going to open and it's going to close. So when I let go of it, on this one, it's going to go open, and then when I put when I turn it into a magnet again, it's going to pick it up and go and close it. So that's what it's going to do. So it's going to close the gate. So inside here, though, all those little windings of wire, it's not good from one end going all the way through the spiral and up to the other. So we're going to have to get Grandma a vent solenoid, and then we can be able to fix our car. But the good news is nothing really big, right? And nice, easy testing?
Nice, easy.
All right, sweet. All right, well, say goodbye to all your fans out there because they're always asking for you. So I think they ask for you more than they do me.
Listen,
But
I have my own channel. Ask me on there.
that's right, you do have your own channel. What was the name of that channel again? Turn it around. Let's see. Rock Knock Animations. Love it.
Shameless plug.
There you go. All right. And who do we have to thank again for hooking you up with the scan tool?
Thank you, Bosch.
All right. That's what we like to hear. All right. It's easy enough a kid can use it. All right. Take care.